Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Nasdaq with Elliott Wave Theory. Before getting into the analysis itself, I want to let you know that I have a Patreon where you can find Elliott Wave Basics course, access to weekly live streams and more. Thank you for your support. Let's get into the analysis next. Starting here on 30-minute time frame, and we have again 3 different counts that we have just based on the structure that we had here. Potential 5-way structure coming down. Again, the 5-way structures are the defining parts that we should be building our counts around, and that is exactly what we have here. So if we start with the bear count here, which is not really a bear count, instead is actually the most bullish count here. Maybe I should just it was bear count as we were coming down, creating this pattern here. This is obviously wrong. There we go. So the idea was that from the 13th of October lows, we had a 3-way structure into W, and then we had another ABC coming down into wave X, so creating this larger WX and then looking for wave Y. Again, this is the only way I can see us getting higher, being more bullish. The thing is that we have actually taken out the lows of this C wave. This is the pretty bad thing about this structure. Or this count completely, because again we can't have an impulsive wave structure from the lows here for that wave Y. But again, we can climb, of course, correctively towards that higher degree structures. So we could be creating 3-way structures like so, climbing up higher in 3-way structures, creating some kind of channel up in here. Is that very likely to me? No, not really. The expectation currently is that this 5-way structure that we would have here, again, it could be labeled a bit differently as well, is a start of something instead of an ending. But this is the structure describing how this can be, of course, a end of something as well. Invalidation for this would be at these highs around 12.34k, as this would be taking out the highs of, or basically the start of this wave structure here. So at that point, again, it wouldn't be the start of something, but instead on end. But we'll take a look at those counts next. So if this indeed is an end of something, a higher degree counts ending here, we could be looking for this as a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into these lows as well. There's a couple of different ways. Again, I'll have the other impulse count there as well, where we had the diagonal in here, as mentioned, or shown on the other count. So overall, we could be having this as a low here or low here. On this scenario, I've labeled it like so. Doesn't really matter. The overall point here is that we would be having this as an A wave, 3-way pullback here into B, and then 5-way structure, creating that flat pattern here as an A, B, and C expanded flat. Some targets that we had here was around the 2 to 1 extension that was ticked point on. S&P 500, I think it retraced to around 0.5. We did not here even hit the 38.2. This is something that is potentially a bit weird, and potentially we are still yet to create one more high here. At least the S&P 500 count has that potential where this was the start of something, then looking for a pullback, and then another structure like so, creating that WXY. On Nasdaq, I don't really see that at least that relevant, at least on this count. Let's check out the other one, where we have this as a structure as well. In here, again, we would be looking for a 3-way structure like so. Again, this would be an expanded flat, because again, this low just barely took out the lows here, and we would have a structure like that. Overall, again, not really anything different about this count, except the other one ended here. Overall, the same exact thing. Looking for a pullback for this 5-way structure coming down. And on this scenario, however, we did hit the 38.2. So that's why I think I prefer this a bit more. The only thing that I don't really like this overall structure is that we did not take out these highs here on RSI with the more recent structure. So that is the only thing that I don't like. Generally on 3-way structures, we do take those out and get no divergence, where again we have divergences here on both into these both peaks, which is not very typical. So if indeed we have already created this ABC structure coming up as a micro account, we would be looking for this as the start of something, either as an A wave, B wave, and then C wave coming down. Let's get that right. Or a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down somewhere at some point. I'm already short on S&P 500. However, I'm not short on Nasdaq. To enter Nasdaq, I'm hoping this would have turned a bit higher. This definitely felt kind of impulsive to the downside, even though we did not really have a divergence here at the very end, at least on 1 minute time frame. And we do have some kind of divergence here on 5 minute time frame, which is again good thing to see at least. I think there is a chance that we have this as some kind of 1-2-1-2 setup where we are just creating structures like that coming down. Not really sure how I would be labeling that, but there is definitely a scenario where we are going to be pivoting a bit higher still to get this retracement up a bit. This is definitely a very good sign for traders, as we had basically covered the whole ground that we had here going up by going down basically in the same amount of time. And that is very traditional V-cut or V-shape recovery, or in this time a dump. So the polar opposite, but you get the point. But yeah, that is definitely a sign of reversal. The only thing that we can see here as well is that if this could be some kind of three-way structure in its own, but the issue is that if this should be the first structure overall, I don't see that possible because it is so small. I think this is indeed the end of this five-way structure here. At least all the corrections do fit the time frames on it. It is very proportionate. And then I would be seeking to create potentially something like this, where this middle structure here is some kind of expanded flat. And now we would be looking to create a partner leg for this one, hopefully higher, at least to the 38.2 here. And then we could be looking for short opportunities again. This again, as mentioned, does show like it is very impulsive to the downside at the moment. So again, that would fit the idea of this being expanded flat in the middle before getting that leg up. But yeah, I would hope this leg up, if it actually happens, it goes beyond the 11,225, and then gives us some kind of possibility at least to enter this short. Otherwise, I'm not going to be FOMOing in, although we have not really moved too much to the downside yet. In comparison to all the targets that we might be having, because again, if we are just zooming out a bit and looking for some targets for this move, we would be looking for this kind of structure where we are having it like that. Let's remove that, and 1-to-1 would be around 98.28. Again, that would be very low, and this would be again the smallest target that we would have. If we go below here 8800, then we can start to talk about the possibility of having this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and seeing how it fits this potential five-way structure here as a partner leg coming down. If we are just currently pivoting it from here, we would be seeing that we do hit the 1.618 exactly to the dot. But I do think that if this is going to be reaching the 1.618 with this potential third wave here, we'd be getting that fourth and fifth overall, at least, created. And that after that would be done. We have a potential of having a possible reversal on the markets upwards, at least to create a correction for this structure over here. So something like this, or probably is going to be more like taking more time. And then if the market does not recover with this being a five-way structure, then we have again most likely another lengthy correction coming down, and this can take another structure, a similar structure to this one, downwards. And yeah, that could again last another year here after this whole thing is over. But yeah, I think that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover on this video on Nasdaq. If you made it this far into the video, again, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope to see you on the next video as well. Bye bye.